And we are live. Hi, everyone. Happy Sunday. Me llamo Doctora Lulu. Yes, my name is Dr. Lulu, aka the Mamatrician. I'm a pediatrician and a life coach. I work almost exclusively with parents of LGBTQ plus kids. One of my kids is trans, but you know what? We're all about all kids because your kid might be trans or you don't even know it. Today, I'm joined with my co-MamaBeast, Kim. Hey, Kim.
Hey, how are
And
you?
you have a beautiful guest. Yes, I said beautiful because
Yes.
Jake is, I think God took some extra time when they were when they were making Jake. God was like, y'all, don't bother me. I'm working on my
Yeah.
masterpiece here. Hi, Jake.
Hello. I feel like God was like the Powerpuff Girls were like he's putting a little bit extra glitter in my vial. So that's
Yes,
what
yes.
happened for me.
And I don't know if y'all heard me say when they were creating Jake, because as far as I'm concerned, God's pronouns are they, them. But welcome to the show, honey. I am so excited to see you. Hi, Kim. How was your week?
Oh, it was a great. You know what? I'm still on a high from yesterday. We had a birthday party for my niece who turned 21, and we were so excited to celebrate with her. And it was just a great time to get together with family. And there was all my rainbow babies were there, so I was you know how I get when all the babies come into one place. I'm on a high for days. So
Okay,
so yeah,
super.
that was beautiful.
That was good. And
Yeah.
I know for those of y'all who watched us and listened to us last week, you know we had Super Bowl and then we had a little bit of drama because everybody wanted to see Usher,
Yeah,
but we're
we had
now
to see
all
that.
on cloud zero. So, Jake, did you watch Super Bowl? Did you watch Usher?
I did, and I will tell you, I was transported back to my high school days, and I was like, oh, I was like, I wasn't
Mhm.
ready. I was excited, but then I didn't realize how excited I was until he came on stage, and I was like, oh, I need this. Like this is it. This is it. All 13 minutes.
I am so happy for you. I ended up watching it the next day because my TV wouldn't behave. But you know what? I still
Oh
watched it.
no.
I watched it. I read a book and then I watched some Netflix and then I went to bed. But these are the painful, well, growing pains of moving. But we're not talking about moving today. We're not talking about Ursher today. Ursher is come and gone, and we're back to talking about LGBT plusness and transgender people parenting trans kids. And y'all, if you've been following me on social media, you know this past weekend at four different events, and I have
Oh,
talked myself hoarse talking about being a parent of a queer child. You know, it's a full day's job. And to help me talk about that today is Kim. Kim is a mama beast of not one but two trans kids. So if you think I'm bad, Kim is badder. But you know, that's what it takes to be a parent of a queer child. You just do what you gotta do, right, Kim?
you do the needful. You do what you got to do. Absolutely.
And I know Jake is not a parent yet. Are you a fur parent, maybe, or a plant parent? What
Oh,
are you?
both actually.
But
I
my
mean,
babies.
I guess plant parent at that, but I have four fur babies for sure. My husband and I.
Oh,
Yep.
What?
Yes.
Four?
Yes. Two dogs, two cats. They are
Oh my
our
goodness.
lives at the moment.
oh,
They're literally our children. Like we just like, yeah,
yeah.
we're gonna go home to the kids. We need to go home. We need to feed the kids. We need to make sure they're good. Take them outside to go potty.
That's where it
I,
starts. That's where it
I
starts. You got to
can't.
remember to
yeah.
water pets before you have kids. That's what you got to remember. That's what my
If your
dad.
Yes.
plants, if you mean if your plants and your animals survive it, then
Yeah,
there you
yeah, yeah. But I still can't keep plants alive, but my kids are alive, my pets are alive. That's all I can't ask for more than that.
All right. So we have a couple of people joining us on LinkedIn. Please announce yourselves. Tell us who you are. I can see you. So join us and let us know who you are. And we're happy to showcase you. If you have any questions for the guest today, if you have any questions for me or Kim, please don't be shy. Ask us. We promise to answer as best as we can. And so, Jake, why did you decide to
Yes.
come on a show titled Moms for Trans Kids? What's up with that? What's up?
Yeah. I think I mean there's a lot. behind it. I have so much love for both of y'all, as parents of trans individuals, as parents of LGBT individuals. Me myself being a child, and me being a queer child, I'll say that, not a child literally, but I have so much love for y'all. So I'm so excited to be here and also representing Apollo Wellness. We are a clinic in San Antonio, Texas, offering primary care for adults, HIV and prevention, HIV management treatments. We make sure that we provide a safe and inclusive space for all of our patients on the far west side of San Antonio in the Apollo Ranch area, or excuse me, Alamo Ranch area.
Alamo Ranch.
Yes, Alamo Ranch. Got a little confused there, but Apollo is a very special project for me. I myself and my coworker, we were the ones that kind of were the brains behind the whole concept of the clinic, bringing the clinic from its foundation all the way to where it is now. So I am very passionate about everything Apollo Wellness related. So that is why I'm here, and also just to kind of add to any conversation as a queer child. I definitely want to give back and provide anything that I can, from my own lived experiences and from my own perspective. So I'm just so excited to be here. I know I mentioned to y'all, but to the greater community, this is my first podcast, so that makes it even more exciting. Just because I get a little nervous. I have a little anxiety right now, but I know it's going to be very well. I know it's going to do amazing. Yes, I'm just trying to be myself. I'm trying to be as open as possible, sharing anything and everything, and being vulnerable enough to be able to give back and to be able to share any of my lived experiences with you all. Or I should say y'all. I say y'all all the time. But yeah, that is why I'm here. And I'm super excited, Dr. Lulu and Kim, joining y'all in this very excellent Sunday. I will say great weather here in San Antonio, Texas. So that's always a plus. And it makes everything just more better, just with like our moods and our emotions. So I'm just really excited to be here.
We could tell your
Yes.
excitement. I'm so happy that you're here, and I'm so happy that you're also here, specifically because we have not had too many Latinx people, Latinate people, people of Latin ancestry on my show. I try to make a big fuss about the show being inclusive, and you did mention that Apollo Wellness is a safe and inclusive space, and we try to make this a safe and inclusive space, and safe and inclusive, brave space, so to say, because we want everyone to come. I think you're probably, besides Foster, our co-host, who is Latine, I think you're probably our first Latinx person who's come on the show. So you know what? You get like, yes. Kim, I'm gonna have to purchase one of those things that you can blow so that I can blow the little thing.
Or have the blowhorn, just like have the blowhorn and ready to go.
So you get special flowers for being our very first Latine. I think if there's one, maybe I forgot, but of Latin ancestry that's on the show. So for that, I am just so thankful. Thank you so much for coming. And needless to say, we're going to jump right into it. So talking about being of Latin ancestry or Latine ancestry, what was that like for you growing up, knowing that you were queer? Or when did you know you were queer? And tell us a little bit about what was that like?
Yeah, so I think it goes all the way back. I mean, it's definitely in high school. I definitely had kind of those moments of like, who am I? Why am I having these feelings? Are these okay? I also, being, I think, of Latin, I'm specifically Mexican, Hispanic, Latin, but specifically within the Mexican culture, I know the Catholicism is a very huge aspect of it. So I grew up in the church. And so I think that also in high school, going back to middle school and into high school, it was always kind of like a tug and pull in regards to like what I thought I was. But then I was also like hearing all this stuff in the church. And then I enjoyed church myself. So I was kind of always confused in that sense. But you know, I would hang out with all my girl cousins, and we would play with Barbies. I was literally the only boy with my girl cousins on the same age, and I was playing with Barbies, and I enjoyed it. And you know, I just like kind of never really said anything. No one told me anything. My whole family was kind of like, okay, well, he's playing with them, and like that's what they're playing with, and they're all girls, and I'm the only boy, and everyone kind of didn't say anything, which I'm like, I'm grateful for now looking back. Although looking back also, I'm like, that was a sign. That was definitely a sign.
I was laughing because my eldest, who's trans, now for those who don't know, growing up was always the only boy. She had so many, all the girls, 6 girls, not a single friend was a boy. All the Barbies, all the things, and
Yeah.
you know, you think
Yes.
I would have known. I kind of thought it was gay, and I was unhappy about that. Then I was okay, I'll take that, but I definitely didn't see trans coming. But I was laughing when you said that because I remember I was like, "Don't you have any guy friends?" No, mom, I don't have any guy friends. We don't need guy friends. I'm like, okay, like okay. I remember that.
Yeah, and I will say it was like the most it was just what came it was just what was most comfortable. And you know, outside of even my family and like we're being in the Latin culture, Mexican culture, Hispanic culture, all of them really were very family oriented. So I grew up with my cousins. I'm very close to all my cousins. And you know, we've talked about it kind of like when we look outside of our family and we're like, y'all don't know y'all's cousins. We're like, oh, like no, we're just like we know everything. We almost know a little too much about one another. But I think that's the culture in and of itself. And then even outside of that, I think even at school, like I hung out with a lot of individuals that identified as women and are female, and it never really occurred to me. It was just kind of like, okay, this is it. And it really wasn't until college when I was like, okay, yeah, this is definitely like who I am. And it took a little bit of time to fully recognize that and be okay with myself first and foremost in the sense of who I was. And I went to school in Austin at UT, and I think at that point I was just like, this is me. This is who I am. And so I had to just like, the thing that comes to my mind is like come to terms with it, but it wasn't that I came to terms with it. It was just like more of the acceptance of like, this is me, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's fine, and this is what I'm gonna do, and who I love, and who I choose to surround myself with, and the support system I have around me. And when I first came out, I grew up with my dad in the church, and so I was really really nervous to tell both my parents, you know, in general, but like specifically my dad because I grew up with him in the church, and my dad took it very chill. It was my mom who had a bit more of a concern, I guess, in the beginning. I didn't realize that at first, that it was more of a concern rather less than like, oh my gosh, why doesn't she love me? Like, you know, it felt that way. It later turned out it was just more of the concern. It was just more of like she was scared for me and being this way in this world. And I'm like, Mom, I am okay. I am fine. I'm getting my education. I am getting, you know, everything that I need to. I'm getting the experience I need. And she definitely came full circle from the very initial start of when I first came out to them. But it was a little hurdle, but I think it just helped me grow as a person also, and definitely her as well. And I'm able to kind of just, I'm very blunt with my mom at this point in time. Sorry if you see my dog in the background. I just noticed that. But one of the fur babies. But no, I think I'm able to also really be open with my mom in this day and age, and also just like who I am. And I'm like, Mom, I'm good. Like, I know there are definitely individuals and groups and people out there that, you know, that don't agree with this, don't agree with me, my own choices. And I'm like, okay, but I have no impact in your life. You have no impact in my life. So why do you care?
I was just gonna help you out and say, okay, fuck them, but wait.
Very much that. Very much that. I'm like, okay, to be honest,
fuck them, fuck all of them.
To be honest, I was like, that is in my mind, but I feel like I'm also like, I feel like I'm representing Apollo.
Yes.
So I'm like, oh, what can I say? It's kind of like those TikToks where like, how do you professionally say, you know, like stay in your lane? And it's like, thank you. I appreciate your input. I will consider it. It was that. It was giving very much that. Like, how do you say this in the professional world? But yes, Dr. Lulu, very much that.
I want to take a
No.
moment to. I want to
Yeah.
take a moment, not to interrupt you. I want to take a moment. We're at
No,
the
no,
quarter
no.
mark, and usually
Okay.
at the quarter mark when we can, but definitely at the bottom of the hour, we take a moment to pay our bills and just kind of take a break. So if you want to take a break, drink some water, and just kind of regroup. The show is called Moms for Trans Kids. My name is Dr. Lulu. I'm joined today by Kim, my fellow MamaBeast, and we are here with a beautiful guest, Jayke, and we've been joined on YouTube, I believe, by Melissa Feldhouse, who is a friend of the family. Melissa, hi. Melissa has given you so much love. Melissa said something earlier. I wanted to see. She said, "You are perfect just the way you are." Just when you were talking about you sharing with your mother, Melissa is a friend of
Oh,
the
thank
family.
you.
Welcome, Melissa.
Hi.
Melissa says, "Mama Beast rule." You know we do. Yes.
You're MamaBeast too, Melissa. I
You
know
know
who
we
you are.
do. Yes.
I know you.
And I think Melissa, Kim, I think Melissa is coming on the show. Shh.
Ah!
I can't
Melissa,
confirm or
do
deny
it.
I know.
that Melissa is coming on the show, but you know what? We are Mama Beasts and we truly don't give a fuck. And you know, we'll say it for our children, we'll say it for our Jakes, we'll say it for our kids. We don't give a fuck. If you
No.
don't like the way our kids are, fuck you. That's it. That's it. And you know, take a running jump because our kids are not going to change. Now that we've seen the light, we're not going to change either. But Kim, what did you want to say? Because Melissa gave us a smile. Kim, did you want to say something before we
Melissa,
came back from lunch?
I think Melissa and I have been, we're in the Facebook group together, so I've seen her comments. She's a MamaBeast too, so I'm looking forward to talking to her. But Jayke, I wanted to just comment on your wonderful introduction too. You're a badass.
Yes.
I'm here to tell you that you are a badass because, I mean, to come out, and know that there's something you're struggling with in high school, and then having that strong religious upbringing and a Mexican family, and my godmother is Mexican, and so when I was little, I used to think I was Mexican too because I was running around with everybody, trying to play in the band and dance like them, and I was this little white girl running around, but they've really, they love my kids, they support my kids, they they may not understand everything, but they try, and I can't be any more proud of that family, and I hope that that's somewhat what you're finding is, even though they don't understand it all, maybe, that at least they're not rude or accepting. So, but yeah, you're yes, to have that, all in the back of your mind, and still coming to mom and saying, "Mom, this is how it is," and she was scared. She was scared. That's
yes, yeah. And thank you, Kim. I really appreciate that. And yes, I have a very, it started off with my parents. They were the first one of the first to know. I will say, my friends, a lot of them knew, but then when it came to the family aspect, they were definitely the first ones to know. And yeah, I've had a really great experience with the majority of my family. There have been a the ones and twos here and there, but right. And I'm like, okay, great, one less person to feed at my wedding.
Welcome.
But I'm just like, okay. I will say though, even then, most of them have come full circle. So I will say, like, I've had a really great support system in my family, and being of the culture, I will say that was a huge importance, or a very important part for me, because I was like, I can't do this without my family, in the grand scheme of things, like of everything, like I need my family. So I've been very blessed, and I'm so glad to hear about your madrina, with her support, and especially with your kids. I think my madrina also, like,
I know.
Yes.
Right?
I'm just like, yes. I'm like, she is like a second mother, basically. Growing up, like, she was always there, and she was always helpful, and she, even to this day, like, she will help me with whatever I need. And so I'm like, I'm so thankful for her. But a lot of it in my family itself, I'm very, very thankful.
I do have a question. Do you have other family members who are queer in your family? But before you answer that question, I wanted to just highlight something. So we also learn as we go on this show. And one of the things you mentioned was earlier on, you said individuals that identify as women. I think that was such a powerful sentence because not everyone that you think, I love that you used the word identify. You were going to say females and you said individuals that
Mhm.
identify as women. That to me sums it up. It sums the where your heart is and the fact that you know that words matter and then you understand that stringing the right set of words together can affirm someone that has never met you before, more than maybe the people that they live with at home, individuals that identify as women. It is a self identity. It is something that if I identify as a woman, no one can tell me I do not identify. So thank you, Jake. That was so poignant. I wanted to point that out. And I
Thank
also wanted to
you.
point out that you said you were really nervous and how I want to just normalize that. People think that, oh, you choose this lifestyle or you choose to be gay. No, baby. Most of us are scared, almost shaking, to tell our parents because we don't know if we're going to be homeless the next minute. We don't know
Right.
if they're going to get killed the next minute. This happens. So thank you for those 2 points. And I wanted to just mention my second TEDx talk for those people who may be worried about understanding versus not understanding. One of the things I mentioned in my second TEDx talk is I want you as a parent to focus on just knowing, just simply
Yep.
knowing that this is where your child is. Because sometimes your child doesn't fully understand what's happening to them. And so trying to get them to say, well, to help you understand, sometimes they cannot. I just wanted to mention that as we go along, because we do try to learn as we go on the show. And the show is called Moms for Trans Kids, and we're here to educate and advocate and be activists and be radical allies because some people just don't have anybody to say it for them. So thank you so much, Jake, for being so affirming already right off the gate. Just wanted to put that.
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes, and I will say I'm very cognizant of those things, of even things like that. Saying individuals identify as female, or saying even from the get go, like for example, if I meet someone and then I go home and I tell my husband about this individual, and I will say like this individual looks like they may identify as whatever they was. I won't say like they were Hispanic, or they're Black,
Categorically,
or they're
yes.
white. Right. I will say like from my perspective, they look like they may have identified it as whatever it is. But it's just because like I'm not gonna be the one that box them per se into anything really. It's very interesting. Also, like I know like I'm a millennial, and there are times where I'm like, oh my gosh, we have so many labels. But then I find out, I've realized myself, it's not necessarily that we have labels, but I think a lot of individuals just really like to have a sense of self and who they belong to, not belong to, but who they are.
Who they
And if they
are.
have, and who they are really, and who they have like as their group in their corner. Me as a gay individual, I don't necessarily flaunt that I'm gay. Yes, I may look like that, or I may look a mold, or whatever the case may be. I'm not, which I'm not, I'm definitely not mad about, but I will like, it's helpful sometimes. I'm like, yes, I'm gay, and I have a whole crew behind me. If you want to say anything, right? So what? Exactly. So I'm like, if you want to say something, good luck.
If you
But
got something to say, why don't you say it to me? Because you may not have a tongue after you're done. But I really appreciate
right.
you, and that is so true. That is so true. Kimmy, I saw
Yes. Yeah.
you
Thank you.
scribbling some notes down. Were
I
you writing?
was. I was taking notes because I can't focus. So if what if I thought I'm going to forget? But no, I was just curious, Jake. We talk a lot about kids not opening up right away to their parents. I'm curious about the time frame it took you to open up to the first person. Maybe you've said something to. When was that? And I'm gonna gamble. I'm not a gambler, but I'm gonna gamble it wasn't your parents.
It definitely was not. It definitely was not. And I want to say,
I think earlier on you
ooh,
mentioned that all your friends even knew, and that is
a lot.
that's one of the things that we
Yeah.
try to normalize here. We try to normalize that as parents, A lot of times we're the last to know, but go ahead and answer your question.
Yes, yeah. And I think we all realize like it's not anything, it's not a bad thing. I will say, because kind of how you mentioned earlier, Dr. Lulu, like I think it's the most nerve-wracking because some people really fear, like, will I have a roof over my head tomorrow when I say this to these people or these individuals? And it's like, if I tell a friend and they leave me, does it hurt? Absolutely. But I have a home to go to. I have a bed. I have clothes. I have food. You know, these individuals can literally sometimes really make or break your life in that sense. So I think that that's why it happens in that sense, in that way. But I think, well, for me, I'm trying to remember. I remember I told my parents, it was in September. And I think I told my best friend first. Actually, she kind of recognized it first, and she was like, "If you have something to tell me, it's okay." And I was like, "Okay, this is me. This is who I am." So I came out. So that's when I came out to her, and I will never forget. It's so random. She wrote it in a note, and we were at a gas station, and like I was putting gas in my car, and I was reading the note, and then I went back into the car, and I was like, "Okay, I have something to say," but I think from the time I told her to the time I told my parents, it was probably at maybe 10 months to a year almost. I don't remember the exact time I told her, but I would give or take 9 months to a year almost. From telling the first like literally like being like, this is me. Like, this is who I am. All the bullshit speculation, whatever was before, that was before. And at this point in time, like this, yes, I am, this is me. Whatever else has been said. But I am telling you from my own individual that this is who I am. And that's that. But then it took me a good 9 months. And mind you, I had been with my now husband we started dating in April. And I told my parents in September. So I had already been dating somebody. What is that? 5 months before I told my parents. And I was like so scared. I remember I was in school and I was in the band at UT and we had a game that night. And I was like, okay, I'm going to tell them right before the game.
Of course you were in that. Did I even guess? Let me see. Did you play the flute?
No, I didn't. So I'm a percussionist. So I was in drumline.
Oh, yeah.
What?
And I was, yes. I was in high school. And then, you know, bad backs happen and all that, whatever. But I loved band. And I was in, if anyone is familiar with UT Longhorn Band, I was the Big Flags. So it's not color guard, but it's like the outside.
Yeah, outside.
Look, we have to look it up. But yes, so I didn't do drumline in college, but I was a percussionist by trade. Like I did that all in high school. I was in the drumline all 4 years. So that was always very fun. Always like an icebreaker question too for me. I'm like, that's my go-to, like something interesting about you. I was in the drumline. No one expects it, right? I'm like, a gay boy in the drumline? No way.
I know. Hey, that's what I was. Like, if you were in the drumline, I was thinking flute well because my baby played flute and I think she was one of the non-girls at the time before we knew that she was trans in the flute because everybody else was.
Yeah, there were no
trumpets
playing the flute back in the day. I played the flute and piccolo, and there were never any guys playing.
Yeah, so she played the flute and the piccolo, clarinet, and the saxophone. She's definitely a woodwind, and then she also played classical piano. So when you said percussion, I was like, okay, she played classical piano. That's percussion. But yeah, this is so good. Yeah,
yes,
so good.
Piano.
I thank you for normalizing that. You know, gay boys can be in the drum line. I think maybe that's what I'm gonna write my newsletter about tomorrow because I usually try to find a title from about my newsletter tomorrow. Gay boys in the drum line. That is your memoir, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my God. Now I'm like, I need to write a book.
There you go.
I've been really into books recently, and literally, if I share my books, everyone's like, "Oh, tell me you're gay without telling me you're gay." That's literally
right.
all my books are all queer related, like
They're all
all
by
gay.
Audre
Literally.
Lorde. And my
And
kids like Audre Lorde, and that's all she reads, like all the Audre Lordes and all the what's the lady that the lady sing the bluest eye lady and Toni Morrison. That's this all the queer feminist theory and all the stuff.
that is I'm like, literally, tell me you're gay without telling me you're gay. Like that's all the books I've read thus far this year. So that's my next title, the gay boy and the gay drummer.
Yeah, well, there you go. I mean,
The gay drummer boy. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna release it during Christmas and everything.
I love
there
it.
you go.
Put all the words together, your story to tell. So the show is called Moms, the number 4, Trans Kids. Find us on Apple, find us on Spotify, find us wherever great podcasts are heard. Listen to us, share the podcast, tell someone about us. We are real. We are Mama Bears, we are MamaBeasts. We truly have our own issues. We're not without, we're not perfect. But one thing that we know for sure is that we're going to support our kids. And every now and again, we adopt kids as we go. As Kim is the MamaBeast that does that. But we're here today with someone who may not necessarily be trans, but I also want to normalize something that I wrote on my page during the week, and someone was like, wait, what? I said, yes, your child can be transgender and non-binary. Your child can be transgender and heterosexual. They're like, wait, what? I said, yes, it can be all those things. And the truth is, you can have gay boys in a drum line. I think what the beautiful thing about what you just done for us today is help us smash all those stereotypes,
Yes.
because that's what it was for me. Oh, what? Yes, there's stereotypes, and you may have yours, and just like I had mine. It's like gay boy in a drum line. What? But it does happen. It does happen. Yes. So thank you so much for coming on the show. We have our special people over at the northwest side of San Antonio, Texas. They are called Apollo Wellness. I'm going to let Jayke do a little, I don't know, jingle. Let's see. You just
do the commercial.
Freestyle.
Oh.
That's why your people.
So Apollo Wellness is here for you. So we have safe and an inclusive space on the far west side of San Antonio in the Alamo Ranch area. We provide adult care, HIV prevention, HIV management, sexual wellness care in general. We at Apollo, we are very well aware of the daunting experience that comes along with anything sexual wellness comes with. So all of our individuals are very well trained, LGBTQ competent, culturally competent in sexual wellness in general, making sure that you can come and you can say, I need to get tested for whatever it is. And there, no one's gonna bat an eye. Everyone's gonna be like, okay, let's get you going. Let's make sure you're all good. And then whatever we need to happen afterwards, we will take care of you. And that's what I really love about Apollo Wellness. Myself and my colleague, we built it from the ground up. We came up with the idea. We came up with the model. It is a boutique style clinic, so it's very high end. You walk in and it's not the normal waiting area of a clinic. It has
the golds and the
blue
and the music and
yes.
And they have a Sub-Zero. Like, look, y'all, I've been there. You just want to be sick so you can go there. Like, it's such a beautiful clinic. It's aesthetically beautiful. I remember when you all were just like thinking about the furniture and what colors we're gonna put. I was like, "That's my brand color," because you said something about teal. Y'all,
yes,
go there so somebody can take care of you. Go,
yes,
go.
And you can get a free coffee while you're at it. We have a little espresso machine or juice, apple juice, grape juice, and we have like sparkling water and waters in general. But I also am very well of the gay community. We have iced coffee. You can make your own iced coffee. I am not an iced coffee gal myself. My husband, day in and day out. It could be this morning. It was freezing in San Antonio. He was like, "I need an iced coffee," and I'm like, "You go, girl.
You do you."
I'm gonna make my hot coffee. I want my tongue almost burnt off. That is just me. But you can get an espresso, a cup of coffee at Apollo, and we're here for y'all, for the community, in all sense of the word, being here for y'all, making sure that y'all have a safe and inclusive space and feel comfortable coming in day in and day out. We offer PEP, HIV management, medication. We handle anything preventative and like adult care, so we can help manage your diabetes or hypertension or whatever the case is. We just want to make sure that you are healthy as a whole person, and taking care of you as your own self. And we create that environment at Apollo to make sure you can bring yourself, your true self, to the clinic.
Yes, I love it. That was perfect. We can't add anything to it.
Yes.
So y'all heard it first right here. Adult care, HIV care, sexual wellness, PEP, and the two most important words, culturally competent.
Yes.
I love those two words. I like, now that I learned culturally compassionate, I use that as well. But hey, culturally competent means if you go there and you have a hijab, no one's gonna judge you. If you go there and you have a hip hop jacket, they're gonna speak hip hop to you. If you go there and you're Nigerian, they're gonna speak your language to you. That's basically what the culturally competent person knows, that you are already, like you said, dealing with fears about, oh my God, and then they're gonna make you feel comfortable. And it does not look like a clinic. And I like what Melissa says here. Melissa says it sounds like their equality clinic in Augusta, Georgia.
Yes, awesome.
They will leave us alone so that we can just be who we are. All these governors and their laws. Oh my God.
I hear.
And I was gonna bring that. I was gonna be the next question. How are y'all adjusting to the craziness with all the anti-LGBT laws and all the anti-all this and anti-all that? How are y'all adjusting to that?
Yeah, I mean, it is really tough, I will say. And in the sense of, I mean, there's a lot of things, especially in Texas. We're in Texas. There's no way around it, unfortunately, at this point in time. But we're definitely doing everything we can to make sure that any of those laws do not affect the way we do our work in this space.
No harm. Yes.
Right. So, for example, I know that one of the like, for example, drag queens. That was a huge topic of discussion within our legislature, and I was like, F you. I can't say the word really, but but to the governor. But our most, Apollo One Us, we just partnered with probably the most famous drag queen here in San Antonio, and she did a commercial for us, and she posted it on Instagram, and it did very well. It had 12,000 views, and we just posted this week, and it's done fantastic, and we really enjoyed working with her, and it's going to be a year-long partnership with her, and hopefully even further. But it's things like that where it's like, we're not afraid to test our own limits, no matter what anybody else tries to say, especially people in
we will not live in fear. I mean, that's what they want.
Exactly. Absolutely.
We're not going to be, and definitely not on this podcast. We're not afraid. I mean, we're going to go down with the ship. I mean, that's what happens. You don't jump off. You stay and you roll with it.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for sharing about that little bit, because I want people to know that there is hope. I mean, maybe you don't take care of children. I get that as a pediatrician. But if y'all can just hold on until you get a little bit older, help is on the way. There are people out there who can help. And that's why one of the things I was so excited. I remember the first time we had our meeting at that coffee shop, I was like, oh my God. I was so happy, because this is something that is so needed. Having affirming spaces is so needed. And being unafraid is so important. And I hope you all are safe, because there are crazy people out there. I don't even want to say anything, so I don't make a suggestion, because I mean, who knows? As far as security goes, I mean, is it safe security-wise? I'm just going to come out and ask.
Yes, at Apollo, we are completely safe. And I love that you really said that, especially about the kids. Like, yes, unfortunately, our provider is very adult-centric, so we don't serve pediatrics at this point in time. That's not to say never. But at this point, it is adult specific. But like you said, just hang on. Like, we're here. There are so many people in your corner, despite whether or not you can get care specific at Apollo. But even regardless of that, like there are so many people in your corner. Like, hang on, we got you. We will get you. Even if it takes a little bit more time, like we are here for you. But going specifically for like Apollo, like absolutely, we are absolutely safe. You know, we don't as a business model, like we don't accept and we don't tolerate any type of discrimination, and not just like from the employee standpoint, but like in general, like we make sure that our patients are very cognizant of the fact that like we don't tolerate that. You know, even as a patient, you cannot come in and you cannot say something to somebody else, or you can't say something to even our own staff. And we take that very seriously, and we want to make sure we're just creating a very safe environment for everybody. You know, like as that person, if you don't say it, like we're gonna make sure that you're okay. You know, we don't want you to say it. We don't think you should say it, but it's like you're a person too. Like you're a human. Like we're all human at the end of the day. We all bleed red, and that's that. Mine might have a little glitter, but hey.
I'm done with you. Oh my goodness. Really quickly, Melissa, if you're still here, if you have any questions, I still got my same 2 people watching us on LinkedIn. If y'all have any questions, we are on the last quarter of the show in a few minutes. Yes. So in a couple of minutes. So if you have any questions for Jayke about maybe their practice, about how the way they see patients, the way they care for patients, that's part of what we're doing here. My question to y'all is, do y'all ever plan to expand? And yes, Melissa thought that was funny too. Ma'am, do you have any questions for Jayke?
Yeah, you know, I mean, we talked about, you touched a little bit on safety. Have you had issues with protesting or anything like that?
Thankfully, we have not. We have seen, honestly, to my knowledge, and I work, my direct role within Apollo is within the marketing aspect. So I see a lot of the things coming in. I see everything external going out, any communication that goes through me and my team. I have been very blessed and thankful that we have not seen anything of that nature.
Great. Well, it sounds like Apollo Wellness is really doing something right, because, you know, even in what I'm used to as far as seeking gender affirming care for my 2 sons, it sounds like you're just the role model, and what I would love to see, to take my kids somewhere that, you know, they're gonna remember the pronouns. They're going to be respectful of, if they don't know how to just simply ask for their pronouns or their preferred, you know, name if it's not changed legally, and use it on a consistent basis. But I mean, because you're so special, you know, you're such a specialty care facility. It's great, but I you know, it would be nice to see just that being the base, right? For all medical care as you go in and feel welcome. I mean, you guys roll out the red carpet. I mean, you have a high bar. I mean, but if seeing the rest of the medical facilities just here, that would be great.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm coming to San Antonio in April. Maybe if I remember, because I'm doing 2 events, one in San Antonio and one in Dallas. If I remember, between trying to love on my kids, I might stop by and do a quick video of the
clinic.
Post about that. Yes, if I remember, I'll try to.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. We would absolutely love that. And Kim, to your part, or to your yes, and to your point, Kim, we actually, so like within our own staff, like we have our lanyards and we have our badges, and all of them have our pronouns on them. And Apollo itself, we, you know, with our swag and with the things that we give out to our patients, we have pronoun buttons, which I was like super proud of. And it's not just he, him, she, her, they, them. It's those 3, and then it's like he, they, she, they, and then now we have new ones that are being in San Antonio. We have a huge Hispanic population and a Latinx population, so now we're gonna have like he, él, she, ella, they, ella. So like we're trying to make sure that we are all really all inclusive in all senses of the phrase. And of course, there are things that we're learning as we go, and we're very open-minded to really hearing all of that and making sure that we can adjust whenever needed, or being resilient in those aspects of, hey, you should have these in Spanish. You know what? You're right. Let me get on that. So like things like that, that literally just happened. And I was like, I have no idea where my mind was. I'm Hispanic myself, and I don't know why I didn't think of that before. But thank you. We're going to do those immediately. So it's like things like that of just like really just being open-minded about what feedback we get, whether it be from our patients, whether it be from our own team, just to make sure that we go that extra step to say, like, for example, like if your sons came to the clinic, like, what are your pronouns? What is your preferred name? That is what we're going to go by. And we have spaces on our intake form and our online portal that specifically says like preferred name and then like given name. Obviously we have like in a medical facility, we have to have your given name for the insurance components or whatever the case may be. But we always go by the preferred name, or we always use the pronouns that they prefer.
Hey, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was trying to find my Apollo Wellness Tumblr. I can't find it.
Oh, I know.
And I know once this is over, I'm going to find it. I was like, hey.
I actually left mine at my mom's, and I was like, the one weekend.
I know. The one day I was trying to find it. I don't know where. Oh my God! I was like, I need to find it. I need to find it. I don't know where it is. I brought it with me because I was like, oh my, that's my Apollo Wellness. I don't know why I clicked this, but oh well.
Oh, but I did want to say. I did see Melissa's comment, the virtual tour. So unfortunately, Melissa, we don't have a virtual tour. That is actually a really fantastic idea. But if you just Google Apollo Wellness San Antonio, we have like all the pictures on our Google profile, on our Google business. So you're more than welcome to look at the photos for now at the moment. But I'm actually going to take that virtual tour idea and probably run with it.
I would love to have seen the facilities in advance before I take my kids in to get care. So I think that would be wonderful.
Introducing the staffers, showing within safety measures, because for me, it's Texas, they're cowboys, straight up. So just to be safe, also, I think. I don't know if Paul is going to approve of it. Just in my head, I'm thinking, because we also have to care about the safety of our staff and of our patients. But who knows? When I come, I might do just a short live on there. I might tag you. Yeah, safety first, absolutely, because we want our people to still be alive and well. But yeah, it would be great if we could do a tour. Why not? Why not?
I say let's do it.
Let's do it.
I love that idea. I love that idea.
It's a deal. And Melissa, hint, says we all need a Tumblr. Okay, now. All right, Melissa.
Always looking for that flag.
Yeah, Melissa is a repeat guest. So what I might do is, I'll see again, Melissa. When I go, if I remember, I'll grab you one of their Tumblrs, because I'll be talking to Jayke, and Jayke is going to say, yes, that was Melissa. She's the one that said, I was beautiful just the way I was, and all that. So you get your own autographed Tumblr. Who knows? I'll get one for Kim as well. Who knows? But Melissa, thank you so much. You've been definitely a friend of the family, and I definitely appreciate that. So as we roll down into the kind of, you see how the show went fast? We're just having fun.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you, is there anything that you regret about when you found out that you were queer, which I know you may use gay, I don't know what you use, but and when you told your parents, is there anything that you regret, excuse me, in your life up until today, as far as like your gayness? Is there anything that you wish you had done differently, or done the same, or you do again the same, whatever?
Honestly, the only thing that came to my mind immediately was the fact that I wish I would have just done it earlier. Yeah, I really do think that, like, I really knew, but I think I was just so caught up in what are other people gonna think? I go to church, how is that gonna look? Like, it was all of those things where I feel like I just couldn't ultimately be myself at the end of the day. And I think if I, like, on this side of the rainbow, I'm like, why didn't I do that sooner? Like,
Yeah.
this is good. This is, I love it here.
I love
But
that
no,
you
other
said
than
this
that, I don't
side of
have
the
any.
rainbow. That's so fun.
Yeah. But
That's so
it's yeah, I just like, I don't, thank you, Melissa. And I hope you feel the same too. Like, it's just, there's absolutely no regrets in who I am. I will absolutely say, like, there's nothing I would take back, nothing I would do differently. Um, I love who I am. I really appreciate who I am. And the God, whatever God you believe in or may not, but like, I just feel like for me, myself, like, I'm very appreciative, like the way I was made and the way I am right now. Like, I have an amazing husband. We have 4 babies, fur babies really, but not,
yeah.
they're still like babies. I mean, y'all, both Dr. Lou and y'all are, I give it to
Yeah.
y'all. But
Normally, let
like,
me tell you something.
fur babies, I'm like, they're still good.
Normally Kim's baby. I don't know where Kim's baby is. Normally Kim's baby comes just
I
running.
know. My
So,
dog
yeah,
laid on my
and
lap.
nobody called you Harper, but Harper's like, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. You'll
um,
see her. Yeah.
but Jake, thank you so much for coming and just for being honest. And hopefully, some of your
Absolutely.
excitement has kind of calmed down. I call it excitement because I think that's what it is. It's
Excitement.
excitement. It's the same
I'm gonna
exact
steal
same
that.
neural pathway for anxiety and excitement. So you just get to choose which one you want. So thank you for coming and talking to us about Apollo Wellness today, and of course sharing a little bit about your story as well. Kim, Melissa,
Absolutely.
any questions? Because we've got a few more minutes still.
Um, no, not
No.
really. I mean, I think I got my questions out earlier, unless Melissa had anything. But Jake, is there anything that maybe outside of Apollo Wellness, just Jake, um,
Yeah.
what is important to you to tell people that maybe you haven't had a platform to tell people? Like, and
Oh,
I don't mean like anything private, but what I mean is
yeah.
like what is a topic that is really burning right now in the back of your mind that you want to do something about, you haven't been able to, or what do you want to bring to light for us?
I honestly, I think, and I'm coming from a very specific perspective of living in Texas. I will definitely say, like, being queer in Texas is tough, and it's like, maybe they're not, I don't mean this in a negative way, or like, I don't know if it's gonna come off wrong, but like, maybe they're not coming for like gays specifically, but like, even when they're coming for trans people, like that, I feel that, like,
It's
whether
the
it's
community.
transgender,
Yeah.
right? It's we're one. Like,
Mhm.
it's so tough, like, seeing these things about, like, there's another bill against drag queens. I'm like, what the hell, what is happening? Like,
I
I'm just like,
know.
where are we living? That's honestly how I feel sometimes. And I will say, like, there are so many times where I'm like, I get so overwhelmed with media and news and just like trying to keep up, so I purposely don't. But then I feel like that's a disservice for my community also. So it's like, it is a
Yeah,
balance. Like,
I
it is
know.
so overwhelming at times, and it's so like, I think of that meme with like Kim Kardashian in the bed, just like, that's me sometimes,
Girl,
like, just
yeah.
like laying there. But
Mhm.
I think, if there's one thing that I want to say, it's just like, hang on. Like, I know there's so many more good people out there compared to the opposing side. It's just so unfortunate that the opposing side has the power at this point in time. And it's just like, those people have so much power over the people that probably don't even care about these items, or like, not necessarily don't care, but like, they're just like, why, what,
It
like,
doesn't affect them.
it
It
doesn't
doesn't.
affect, exactly,
Like, why are you
exactly,
caring about something that doesn't affect you? I don't.
exactly,
Like,
exactly.
yeah, what are we preventing, and why are we spending so much money on time and policies and politician and taxpayer money and advertisements? And can I
Yeah,
go on? I mean,
Can
yeah.
we just, yes,
all
can
of
we
it.
just move on? And
Exactly,
I
exactly.
do want to say something. I want to definitely sound it out louder. Something you said as we kind of draw to a close. I wish I had done it sooner. Maybe that's the word I'm going to take for the day. I want parents to hear from an adult queer person. I felt the same way. I told my dad at 16, and then I went underground
Mhm.
until I came back up at 42. I too wish I had done it sooner. And everyone that I've spoken to, even those who know that their lives are in danger,
Mhm.
all wish they had done it sooner. I want the parents to hear that, those at the back. What that is saying is we would rather live authentically for 1 second sooner than
Mhm.
not. That's the testament to how important it is for people to be themselves, people to not have shackles on their feet, shackles around their neck, shackles on their arms, golden cuffs. We don't want that. We want to just be who we are. And I too feel and wish I had done it sooner. I'm so thankful
Yeah.
that I'm doing it now. But every single day I say, oh, all the days and all the weeks and all the months I lost trying to be straight when I wasn't
Mhm.
straight. I knew every morning that I wasn't straight. So I want to thank you. That was just so major. Oh, Melissa
Absolutely.
said until it does affect them.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Usually it
Yeah.
is affecting them. I said
exactly.
something on a podcast. I was a guest on a podcast and I told the lady, I said there are two people that I worry about. The number one person I worry about is the person who is a very, very, very staunch ally for the community. Watch out for that person because they're probably members of the community. I know that
Mhm.
because I was a very strong ally for the community because I knew deep down that I was one of them, but I couldn't live that way.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
second person to be worried about is a person who is a strong, staunch homophobe. They are probably also
Part of the
members
community.
of the community. And I will
Yep.
say that with my full chest, the very, very strong, staunch homophobes are closeted gays till I die. And so,
Mhm.
unfortunately, it is because society is forcing people round pegs into square holes and forcing you to be who you're not out of fear. So please, if you didn't learn anything from us today, you learned from oh, Melissa says guilty. Yeah,
Yeah,
true. And I know Melissa's story is so beautiful, but I want us to just hear not Dr. Lulu, not Kim, not the people in the not the hostesses, but one of our guests saying they wish they had done it sooner.
yeah,
So as a parent, please get out of your kids' way.
yeah.
Yep.
That's it. That's all I have.
Mic drop.
Right.
Mic
Right. Just
drop.
let them bring. Just let us bring home who we bring home, and then be like, okay.
Okay.
Mm,
You want
yeah,
dinner?
Yeah. Right.
What's your
Are
favorite
you
kind of spaghetti? Do you like it soft, tender? I mean, what kind of sauce?
right?
I wish I had done that. I wish I had done that for my baby. I wish I could take it back. I wish.
No,
But,
but I think what you're doing, Dr. Lulu, is amazing. Both you and Kim, like just being on here and being here for your kids, like this, it shows so much. Like it's so much more with these actions that y'all are doing here tonight and every Sunday, really at that. That shows so much to your kids, even if they don't say it. I will say, like they probably are like, my mom's a badass.
yeah. They do say it actually.
I love that.
I get
I love
credit.
that.
My and I even contemplated not doing it, and they just would not let
Yeah.
me. They just would not let me go there and let my brain go there
Yeah.
and talk myself out of it. And of course, then there's Dr. Lulu in the other ear, so of course. But
I
yeah,
know
yeah,
my kid is very proud of me. I know she may not say it as loud as I want her to, but she doesn't have to because I can hear her even in her silence. And more importantly, even louder is everyone that tells me, "Oh my goodness, thank you so much for doing this," and for
Yes.
that, for them, for those of them that I am able to help magnify their voices. I won't stop until my last breath. So thank you all so much. The show is called Moms for Trans Kids. As you can tell, we're just here, just being moms for trans kids. And yes, it's Sunday night, and believe it or not, India Irie was playing at the theater down the street from me. And I was like,
ooh,
I want to come and do this. Partially because the ticket is expensive, but also because I want to yeah, she's playing, and it's called a Valentine's Gift for Lovers is the title of her concert today, and I'm missing it. But it's okay. It's okay. There'll be other times. And thank you so much, Jake. Thank you for
Absolutely.
coming. So many pearls. So many pearls. So many
Yes,
pearls.
thank you for inviting me. And I did want to say also, and I recognize this right now. I have been talking a lot about being a gay individual, and that is a sexual orientation. But even when it comes to gender identity, like it's very similar. Like I feel in the sense of like, you know, bringing home who you want to bring, yes, but bring home who you are. Like that's who you are, and that's also just as important as who you bring home. Like I just want to make sure, like for any parent of transgender individuals, transgender children, like allowing them to bring home who they are as individuals is just as important as who they bring home. So I didn't want to point that out because I was like,
that is so great.
Yes, from the mouth of babes. That's the best way to end the show.
Yes.
Bring home who you are. That's a whole doggone book. Love it.
Yes.
I have so much fun because I tomorrow's newsletter is actually talking about how your child can be transgender and heterosexual.
No.
So I'm going to put that line in there, and of course I'm going to tag you. But thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for being a part of the show. Find us, follow us, show us some love. Write us a review if you want to. If you don't want to, if you say something negative, I'm gonna delete it. I mean, because I can't. I just want y'all to just know that. So don't be going up on my podcast and talking junk, because you will get banned from the show. That said, my practice is called Dr. Lulu's Pride Corner. We are family-focused, gender and sexuality affirming coaching practice. We're going to be opening our doors in a few weeks. I'm excited. I'm scared. I'm happy. It's all the things. Y'all tell someone about us. Dr. Lulu's Pride Corner. We are virtual. Actually, we're going to be hybrid. We're going to be both. Ooh. So we can see you wherever you are. If you're in Atlanta, then we get to hug you also. Kim, what's going away words you have for us?
Oh, I just love, you're right. There were so many pearls of wisdom from Jake, you know, but you know, when he says to come home as you are, I mean, that really hits home, because I want other parents to be listening to what you're saying. I wish I would have come out earlier. I didn't tell my parents first. I was scared. I knew they would be scared. I mean, there's so much that goes into this. So, you know, that's why it's so important for parents to try and understand and listen to their kids and be a safe space for them, because the world's a scary place. So thank you, Jake, for bringing that out.
Absolutely. And thank y'all both for inviting me and for talking to me and allowing me this space to be vulnerable and in a safe space. It's hard for me, and it may not have come off that way just because I know my anxiety allows me. I love how you said excitement. I wrote it down because I was like, that is very me. Like I will use my anxiety.
That word up. Yes, excitement.
I love it. I will use my anxiety to like become that drive for me.
Use it as a superpower. Yep.
Yes. Thank y'all also.
And thank you so much, Melissa, for joining us. And we had 2 people watching us the entire time on LinkedIn. We never got to know who you were, but thank you all so much also for hanging out with us. We will be back next Sunday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, because my brain still thinks in Texas, and or 7 p.m. Eastern. I don't know how to say that. Thank you all so much for just always being here. And as long as you guys are here, we're going to be here. As long as you girls are here, we're going to be. As long as you folks are here, we're going to be here. My name is Dr. Lulu. Peace, love, and so. Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Oh, wait. Melissa said, hold on, Melissa. Bring home who you want to bring home. They'll be safe here.
They'll be safe here.
Absolutely. What a way to end that. Okay, Melissa said they'll be back next week. Melissa, bring a friend. We want you to bring a friend.
Yes.
Bring a friend. And Jake,
I love all the questions you listen.
What do you
I
say?
love all the questions. I love all the questions, Melissa, and all the
Yes,
interaction.
all the
Yes, we
interaction,
love all the
absolutely.
interaction. Yes. And I wanted to say to Jake, maybe now you watch us every Sunday from now on,
Yes,
or at
yes.
least listen to us. Maybe listen to the recorded episodes and tell one person about it. Maybe tell some of your clients at your clinic because they might not
Ab-
know.
oh,
You know.
I definitely will. We definitely will. The clinic, the staff.
And maybe what you could do is, this is just a suggestion. We could do this offline, but you could, now that you have the episode, I'll give you the link and y'all can play it on the
Okay.
little TV from time to time
Oh,
because you get to see Jake. Yes. Oh, that's Jake.
yeah.
Hey,
Yes, absolutely.
why not? All right,
Yes.
folks. Everyone, have a wonderful week ahead. I will see you all on Sunday. Peace, love, and soul for real this time. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Everybody.